Hey everyone, this is John from MotionWorks. Photoshop CS5 has some fantastic new tools, and I used one of them this week and I wanted to share it with you because it absolutely blew my mind. The Refine Edge tool has been in Photoshop for a while, but Adobe has updated the tool and I think it's made it just, 1,000 times better and 1,000 times more useful. Check this out. I've got this image here, or part of an image, and it's on a white background, and I want to remove it from the background and put it on a dark background. And you can see here there's some alarm bells going off because look at all this hair. Getting those white pixels out of the hair is going to be quite difficult. Well, it would have been difficult, but check this out. Let's just grab the Magic Wand tool. I'm just going to select the white areas and perhaps just this shadow area. And just invert the selection, Shift-Command-I, Shift-Control-I on Windows. Add a layer mask, and there's the problem. Look at all those white pixels. It looks ridiculous, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to just load that selection by Command or Control clicking on the layer mask, remove the layer mask, and delete it. Now come up here and click Refine Edge. Okay, so it looks the same. That's fine. What we've got here is a new feature for edge detection. If I click on Smart Radius to turn it on, and now drag the radius amount, you can see Photoshop is intelligently looking at the edges and determining what is part of the foreground and what's the background. Look at that. You can visualize a radius by clicking on Show Radius. You can see where Photoshop is actually looking. And you can also view the foreground on different backgrounds. So you can view black and white, overlay, which is good. I'm going to keep mine on black. So it looks pretty good, but I mean, it's not perfect, is it? This is where you'd use the Refine Radius tool. Now you can find the Refine Radius tool and the Erase Refinements tool just here in this menu. The Refine Radius tool is selected by default. So I'm going to move over my image. You can see I've got a cursor here with a plus sign. Let me just drag and select those white pixels. And you can see that eats away at those white areas, but leaves the hair, which is part of the foreground. A little bit more here. And you can see I've probably gone a little bit too far there. Let's just zoom in. A little bit too far. So what you can do is use the other tool, which is the Erase Refinements tool. And I'm just going to change the size of my brush. Now, holding down Control Option, I can change the size of my brush. Control Alt on Windows. Just bring some of that back in. Probably not that much. Just grab the Refine Radius tool again and just take this guy out here. Isn't that amazing? You can see how well that selected that tail. It still needs a little bit of work just there, but quite amazing. And even in the hairs over here on the leg. Another tool that's brand new is the Decontaminate Colors, which is part of Output. And what's good to see is that tools that we've got in After Effects CS5 are also now in Photoshop CS5. Decontaminate Colors is part of the Refine Matte effect in After Effects CS5. If I turn that on, you can see, let me just zoom in actually. You can see how the color of the tail has actually changed and it's pulled out more of the white. Just turn it off again. There's lots of white pixels there. Let's just turn it on again. And it just makes them a little browner, a little more natural. So it's removing or decontaminating those white pixels out of the edge. Very nice. And of course you've got a slider amount here, so you could decontaminate more or less. Let's take a look at the matte. Look at that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that would have taken me all day to select that, and I never would have selected it as precisely as that. Now for Output 2, I'm going to choose New Layer with Layer Mask because I want to make some adjustments to the layer mask. But you've got other options in here. I'm going to click OK. So there's my new layer with a layer mask. I can option click or alt click on the layer mask to select it, grab my brush tool, and I'm going to change the size of the brush. Just drag with Control and Alt selected, Control Option. In CS5, you've now got the ability to drag left and right to change the size of the brush, but you can also drag up and down to change the softness of the brush. Previously, you had to tap the Control or Command key. So this is really nice, just a simpler way to change the size and the feather or the hardness of the brush, which is fantastic. So with white selected, I just come in and just clean up a few areas. You can see that there's still that little hard line just there, which needed a bit more work, but you guys get the idea now.